A story that has shaken a community and sent ripples through the music world has reached a tragic and deeply unsettling new chapter. On September 8th, employees at a Hollywood towing company made a grim discovery. They noticed a strong, foul odor coming from a Tesla that had been impounded. The vehicle, left abandoned, was brought to their lot. Fearing the worst, they contacted the Los Angeles Police Department. What officers found inside has left a family shattered, and a city demanding answers. This was not just an abandoned car, it was a crime scene. Inside the trunk, wrapped in a bag, were human remains. The vehicle in question, a sleek Tesla, was registered to the rising music star David Anthony Burke, known to millions of his fans as D4vd. The 20-year-old singer has gained immense popularity for his emotional and genre-bending music. The connection of his name and property to such a horrific discovery immediately drew intense media scrutiny. The initial shock of finding a body soon gave way to a pressing question: who was the victim? For days, the city held its breath as forensic experts worked tirelessly to make an identification, hoping to bring a name to the tragedy and a small measure of closure to a waiting family. This week, the Los Angeles County Department of Medical Examiner delivered the devastating news. The victim was identified as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. Before this tragedy thrust her name into headlines, Celeste Rivas was a daughter, a friend, a teenager with a life full of promise ahead of her. From the town of Lake Elsinore in Riverside County, she was just 15 years old. Like many teenagers, her world was filled with school, friendships, dreams of what her future might hold. Her family's world was turned upside down last year when she was officially reported missing. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, with her loved ones holding on to hope that she would one day return home safely. The search for Celeste was a long and agonizing journey for her family and friends. They lived with a constant uncertainty, a void that could not be filled. Her disappearance was a local story of a missing child, but for her family, it was the only story that mattered. They hoped for a phone call, a sighting, any piece of information that would lead them to her. The news that her body had been found, and the horrific manner of the discovery, ended their hope and began an unimaginable nightmare. Celeste was more than just a name in a police report. She was a young person whose life was cut tragically short. Friends and family are now remembering the girl they knew, sharing memories of her smile and her spirit. The investigation into Celeste Rivas's death is a complex puzzle with many missing pieces. The Los Angeles Police Department is working diligently to trace the final days and hours of her life. A significant focus has been the Hollywood Hills home where the singer D4vd stayed. Shortly after Celeste's body was identified, LAPD detectives executed a search warrant at the residence overnight. They spent hours combing through the property, looking for any clue, no matter how small. The search yielded several items of potential significance. Several items of evidence were recovered and will be analyzed by detectives in the coming days. Authorities haven't specified what the items are, but they represent rare leads. The Tesla itself is a central piece of the investigation. The vehicle is registered to David Anthony Burke, D4vd's legal name, but the situation is complicated. The Tesla is one of several vehicles he owns, and many people in his circle use them. That makes it hard to determine who had access and who was driving it before it was abandoned on September 8th. The car had not been reported stolen. So, a critical question remains. Who was behind the wheel? Police have not revealed who was driving the Tesla. They're likely reviewing traffic cameras, nearby security footage, and electronic data from the vehicle itself to identify the driver. The shocking details of this case have left the public reeling, and the focus has naturally turned to the car's owner, D4vd. However, it is important to state the facts clearly. According to his representatives, the singer has been on tour for an extended period. In fact, he has not been in Los Angeles for more than a month, placing him physically far from the city when the car was abandoned and Celeste's body was discovered. A spokesperson for D4vd says he was informed and is fully cooperating with authorities. D4vd's scheduled concert in Seattle was canceled. The community's reaction has been one of profound sadness and shock. In Lake Elsinore, friends, family, and neighbors of Celeste Rivas are mourning the loss of a young life taken too soon. Vigils are being planned to honor her memory. Those who knew her struggle to comprehend the violent end she met. Online, a torrent of grief and speculation has erupted, many expressing condolences for Celeste's family, others dissecting the few known facts of the case. Authorities urge the public to avoid speculation and allow the investigation to proceed. So what happens next? The Los Angeles Police Department's investigation is the top priority. Detectives will continue to analyze the evidence collected from the Hollywood Hills home and the Tesla. The medical examiner is conducting further toxicological tests and forensic tests, which could take weeks or even months. This is a story about a devastating loss. A 15-year-old girl is gone and her family is left with unbearable pain. While the connection to a famous singer has brought national attention, at its heart this is a tragedy that demands justice and answers.